Good morning. Today is the 22nd of October. My name is Neville Hornsey, market analyst for YouTrading, and today I'll be looking at intraday trading using support and resistance. So here we have the Euro versus the USD chart, and you can see that I've marked up some levels already. And I've also got some levels pending on the German DAX. So I just want to talk to you why I do that. So the first thing we do is we look at the actual heat map on YouTrading.com, and we look to see if it's more of a risk on day or a risk off day. So commodity pairs are doing well, and the yen and US dollar are currently weaker. The Swiss franc is mixed. So with the weaker US dollar, commodities are doing good, and normally that means equities does well. So a weaker US dollar is also obviously really good for the euro versus the US dollar. So we're looking for a long in the euro versus the US dollar, and a strong euro could also mean that the DAX gets a bid, but obviously this sort of risk on sentiment means that a lot of the equities are going to be going higher. Yesterday we had new all-time highs in the S&P, and we've recently had new highs in the Dow. DAX is currently down 50 points. So we'll be looking to see if that can follow the FTSE higher. All right, so these are my levels that I'm looking to trade off on the DAX. All right, if I just go to a 4-hourly chart, you see we've got this big impulsive move higher, then a sideways consolidation from, I think it's the 15th of October till present day. So I'm looking for this consolidation period to sort of break out and then follow along with the US equities. We go down to an hourly chart. What I've done here is I've marked up this level. So if I'm just going to make this one yellow so you can see it easier. Oh, green, make it yellow. So we had run up, sideways consolidation, bit of support there, break of that level. So that was old support. And you can see on the 20th of October became resistance, price spiked up to it and, collapsed back down to this previous support. And then you see that we broke through on the sort of 10 o'clock candle on this chart, and we closed above it. So I'm looking to see if we can get a continuation higher, an acceleration above this high here, which then accelerates above this sort of old resistance. If we quickly go to the euro versus US dollar, similar sort of story. Go to the 4-hourly. Marked up some swing lows, which are basically off bigger levels. Then using those levels, try and work out what the sort of direction is. And you can see here that we swept this low here. So if I just put a circle so you can just see it. So that was a swing low, swept it. Then we broke above the previous swing high. So this here, I'm going to make this green because that's now support and a change in trend. So swing low here, lower low, swing high here, higher high, came back down, tested support, worked, big impulsive move higher, came back down. And then again, you see this sort of level of old resistance held. And now we've got this sort of range forming above that level. So I'm going to make this green, solid green, so you can see it. Then you remember I said that these blue boxes were from daily swing lows, H4 swing lows. You can see that we've got a double top here, so that's resistance. I go down to a 15-minute chart. You just basically find, more and more of these sort of support and resistance. So what I basically look for is a resistance level where you see a rejection. For that resistance then to become support, for that support then to get broken. So this is where I'm looking to trade off. Obviously, we could be coming down a little bit lower. So we've got breakdown, found slightly more major support, went up. This support here becomes resistance. So that resistance now has to act as support for this trade to actually work out. So if our price gets below here and then doesn't reject higher, then this long euro is wrong. And I'll be looking to see if these sort of arrows here, you can see pointing down, come back down to test this 1.16 support. What I'm hoping for, obviously, is you can see that I'm currently long. I want to see an acceleration above this swing high So we have resistance, support, becomes resistance. I want this level then to become support, and then to carry on stair stepping higher to test all the way up here. Take out that double top, and then yeah, go on to higher highs. So that's how I'm going to get long. I've got one chance left here to get long again. But if these levels don't hold, then I don't really want to be sort of in this trade. If we go back to the German DAX, so these are levels that I mentioned. Come back here. Now, why did I get long at that particular point? Well, you see that we had a run up here. So the high was 15,567.87. The high was exactly the same high again. Then we had a slightly lower high, and now you can see we broke above. So this double top just on the 15-minute chart was a ceiling. We've pushed through, so we've got an aggressive breakout, which is what I'm trading. And now I want to see the prices accelerate, get above this red line. Now, I've got here a 21-point stop loss. So, you know, I don't really want to be seeing prices come below there. And, you know, if we say a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio is ideal, then I need to see at least 40 odd points to the upside. So, you know, I need to see this work out to the upside now, take out this red resistance, and then try and get back above 15,610 to 624. So that's the idea. That's what I'm looking for. If we go back to the euro versus US dollar, you see prices are still trading here, and we're on a 15-minute chart. So what I'm going to do now is just pause the sort of video, come back in like half an hour, and then see how we're getting on. All right, welcome back. We've had some developments. It's just coming to 11 o'clock in the morning, which is a time where markets can reverse. So I just thought I'd update now rather than later. All right, so the euro versus the US dollar kind of did what we wanted to do, came back down to this zone here. So we had resistance, became support, that broke. And then on the flip side, it came through. Then when they tested it again, it became support again. So this trade is clearly winning, and we've got 36 pounds to just under 40 pounds worth of profit there. Go to the German 15. You can see that not quite working out as well as we wanted it to. Obviously, I was going for an aggressive breakout, and what's happened is they broke out, and where this, if we go to a smaller time frame, so we had this big run up, then a consolidation, big drop, then a return to that level, and you can see that if there were sellers there, they still remain there, and at these levels here, price rejected. This yellow zone that we marked up before is still holding, but clearly the aggressive breakout didn't work out. So you have to make a choice. Like, do you let price run all the way down to your stop and then take the full loss, or do you decide that, you know, your idea was to see an aggressive breakout and then an acceleration higher? That clearly didn't work. So maybe it's best just to kill the trade idea now rather than waste you know, potential profits. So if we go to positions, we can see here that we're buying the German 30. It's clearly not doing what we want it to do. It could come back all the way down here. We go back to the 15-minute chart. You know, it could come back down to this level that we identified. It hasn't done the acceleration higher that we wanted it to. So rather than basically giving more profits back, we could just kill the trade. So we could say close position. So we've taken a small loss. And now here on the euro versus the US dollar, we go to that. We wanted to see prices run through this sort of little zone here. And if price was to come back below this dashed line that we marked out before, which was based on this candle high here, then we can kill this trade as well. So currently that level's acting as support again. We made a higher high. Obviously, this candle is higher than the previous candle. When you see a balance area, that's where traders have been buying and selling, and the prices basically match each other. So you want to see the buyers win out. So what I like to do is just get my finger ready to click sell. And hopefully buyers come in. All right, so the buyers are still trying. So what we could do is move our stop loss up to 1.164. So that now ensures that we'll lock in some profits. And we just need to clear this area here. All right, to sum up, the way I look to trade these support and resistance levels is find a peak, which is resistance, where price falls back, which then becomes support. If you see that support get broken, you want to see if it acts as resistance, and then price comes down. Obviously, if we push through back to another sort of similar level, then when it returns like it did this time, you know, when we see a rejection of that level, then that's when you can say this trend of higher highs and higher lows is to continue. Obviously, when you get to a balance area or a swing high, that's obviously where traders have traded before. And obviously sellers were there because we had a price move down. So there could be more sellers, and sellers were up here. So there could be more sellers up there. So you just need to read the market, make sure you trade off decent levels, lock in some profits. If you do take a small loss, you don't want to necessarily give back all your profits. So it's Friday. If you've made some money this week, don't give it all back today. Go into the weekend feeling happy, and we'll see you next week.